I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong.
Hi, I'm JB. In this video, we're taking a look at the Fear and Greed Index from CNN Money. We are going to find out how it's comprised and what it tells us about the market, and finally, if we can use this tool to enhance our investment returns. I'm not really into market timing, and especially in times like these, where everything is getting hammered. I have my buy list ready and already calculated the entry price for the companies I'm looking into, so I buy when they hit that target price, no matter what. But I also know that sentiment can be a powerful adversary or ally, depending on how it's used, and a lot of the market is driven by sentiment. An old quote says, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay liquid, and that's definitely true. For instance, if I know a company I have invested in and like, and I know that they will probably have a bad quarter because of circumstances beyond their control, I would probably wait to buy more until other investors sell and the price gets lower. Same with the sentiment we're seeing right now. As Warren Buffett said so many times, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. And I see the current environment to be a serious buying opportunity. And as I have learned in my years of investing, when the market goes down, dollar cost average on the way down. So I have been buying since we had an 8 in the Fear and Greed Index. And now I'm just trying to accumulate more cash so I can buy more of the great companies on sale. But let's get back to the Fear and Greed Index and what its elements are. The Fear and Greed Index tells us what the sentiment in the market is right now. It was down at a 7 back in May 2022. Actually, it's the same level as back in March 2020. At the time of making this video, we're around a 33, which is still in fear territory, but it seems to be picking up now. So, let's look into it. How is it calculated? It consists of 7 indicators and they're all weighted evenly. Number 1. Market momentum. The S&P 500 versus its 125-day moving average. When the S&P 500 is above its moving average of the last 125 trading days, that's a sign of positive momentum. Investors are buying. If movement is slowing, it shows us investors are not buying as much, and this signals fear. Stock price strength. This indicator shows us the number of stocks on the New York Stock Exchange that have a 52-week high compared to those at the 52-week lows. When there are more lows than highs, this signals fear. This one is a good one because a few strong stocks like for instance Apple, Microsoft and even Tesla in the S&P 500 could skew the entire picture. Number 3. Stock price breadth. This one looks at the volume of stocks being traded on any given day. It looks at the amount of shares that are rising and falling. If trading decreases, this signals fear. Number 4. Put and call options. Puts are options to sell and calls are an option to buy. When the 5-day put to call ratio is rising, it usually signals fear. More people are betting the stocks will go lower. Right now we're seeing a low put to call ratio. Typically, when it goes above 1, it's a good indicator that the sentiment is bearish. Number 5. Market volatility, also known as the VIX. The VIX is also a part of the Fear and Greed Index. However, here it's represented in a comparison of the VIX and its 50-day moving average, so we can determine the direction and if we're headed up or down. The VIX sometimes goes down when the market goes up and rises when stocks go down. The key is to look at the VIX over time and use the trend as an indicator for the buying and selling. When the VIX is low, it's not a time to buy, and when the VIX is high, the bears are in control. Number 6. Safe haven demand. Usually there will be a shift into bonds when investors are afraid of the volatility in the stock market. This indicator shows us the difference between treasury bonds and stock returns over the past 20 trading days. When bonds are doing better, that usually means investors are scared. They're fleeing into bonds. Number 7. Junk bond demand. This is the difference spread between junk bonds versus investment grade bonds. When investors buy junk bonds, the yields drop and vice versa. A smaller difference or spread shows us investors are willing to take more risk, and a higher difference and a more spread shows us investors are more afraid. All of these indicators combined give us the level of fear and greed in the market right now. Is it possible to use this index for trading? Yes, I actually believe so. But as I'm not a trader, I can't see the point in having cash sitting on the sideline, waiting for a possible downturn in the market. Maybe it doesn't come in a long time. You could see my videos on timing the market and are we at the bottom to give an idea of what I mean. So, is the fear and greed index a good indicator for buying or selling? Well, personally, I don't use it at all, as I'm almost always fully invested and I know the intrinsic value of the companies in my portfolio, so I don't have the need for this. It's another tool in the toolbox for investors, and maybe it should be combined with looking at the normal VIX and the RSI if you're a trader. I actually know people who trade on the RSI alone. So let's look into those two alone. The VIX is commonly called the fear indicator by itself because it represents the market expectation over the next 30 days, and the VIX measures the magnitude of price movements in the S&P 500. The more dramatic the moves are, the higher level of volatility. Usually when investors are selling everything that isn't nailed to the floor, the VIX will spike. Look at the chart and see the spike back in March 2020. Now let's take a look at the RSI, Relative Strength Index. The RSI is a momentum oscillator that measures the speed and change of price movements. The RSI goes between 0 and 100, and traditionally the RSI is considered overbought when above 70 and oversold when below 30. On that note, I'll end this video. Remember to invest in you. The more you learn, the more you earn. If you found some value in this, I hope you will give this video a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel and help me out a lot. Have a nice one. Bye.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting.